Welcome everyone, LanceScurv here. This is going to be just a short, brief tidbit of a thought that hit me. I'm in transit now, getting ready to leave to do a few things, and I'll come back and create more content. But waking up, I thought to myself, I said, it's such a good feeling to live a life without having to look over your shoulder, without having to feel that somebody's coming to get you, whether it's law enforcement or somebody you did wrong or just general karma, because we know karma is a heck of a thing. And many people who have done people wrong, systems wrong, they have this thing on their shoulder. They're looking around, things are hanging over their head. And it's like, they look at you now who live a certain way. You live clean, you play by the rules, and you don't understand. While they may feel as though they're getting over with their illegal stuff, they're still looking over their shoulder. They know their day is coming. And even though you may be playing by the rules and you can feel it hitting you tough, especially in the West, especially in America, those of you who are working jobs, and it's like the dollar just doesn't stretch as much and you're not getting much from it. You're working, you're tired. The one thing is, at least you know you don't have to look over your shoulder. At least you don't have to worry about that knock on the door from some criminal stuff that you've done or something you owe. You don't realize how many people are living like fugitives. And they look at you, and on one side, they may laugh and say, ha, 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 I'm getting more than you. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But on the other side, they wish they were you because they don't have a clean mind. Imagine, and it's always going to work. And especially now with computer systems and technology and surveillance. And I was looking at the fact that how many hundreds of people, well, recently, I think it was like about 160, 180 people here were arrested for fraud by the FBI, America, right? So this is the continents, the countries are connected. Stuff is international now. And when your name comes up on a computer, see, computers, they're there. Stuff doesn't get erased. It's just a matter of time before your number's coming up. I don't want to live like that. And when I realize, I see, and I'll never mention any names, but whoever they are, they know who they are. People that come to Ghana as fugitives, they're running from something. They could never go back to where they came from. They're stuck here. Imagine that. And these countries are getting more connected because I heard how the Ghanaian law enforcement is connecting up with different countries and they're sharing their files. And man, shoot, I don't want to have to run out into the woods and look over my shoulder. I'm just so glad that, like I said, I did it the clean way. I didn't do anything illegal. I didn't associate with anybody illegal. I do not want to associate with anybody illegal or any fugitives. I love having peace of mind. You can't beat that. And I'm content. We all want to be multimillionaires and all that stuff. And it can happen. You work, you get into something, and it eventually happens with hard work and focus. It doesn't take much for me to live. And I just say that to all the people out there who are walking the straight and narrow and playing by the rules. Don't feel bad. I'm not saying to feel content in the fact that, and I'm going to say the American system, because that's where I'm from and that's what I know. And I'm hearing the complaints. There are people that I know that have really great retirements and stuff, and they're feeling it. It's like, man, the money's not stretching as much. Or, the crime, the drug addicted people who, are stealing from you, or, the diseases that come from the people who are on drugs and they're prostituting themselves and, spreading it to people who shouldn't be doing that. They're bringing it back to their wives. It's just a cycle of doom this world is embracing. And it's only because so many of us want to cut corners and so many of us do not want to play by the rules. This life doesn't last forever. This is a pit stop to eternity. We all want certain things. We all want certain peace of mind, but these demons that are on this earth, when you really think about it, and this is a conversation I had yesterday, and this is a conversation that I continually have and continually talk about. Excuse me for talking funny. I just woke up not too long ago. But look at these, and I won't even say who it is. You know who it is. These so-called people in power, I'll just leave it at that. But it seems like they hate the creator. They hate, we'll call the creator God, right? Three letters. And some people have a problem with me saying that. Somebody created you. Somebody made this earth perfect for us, and this life is a gift. The fruits grow on the tree. There's all types of things to eat, no matter what kind of diet you're on. Free. You never had to pay for land. Land is free. You live where you are. Why do we have to break it down and have borders and boundaries and pay somebody else that you'll never see to live on land that God gave to you for free? Why is it that we have to have bottled water? Why is water not free? Why isn't everything free? It was given to us free. Who stepped on this planet and ravaged every continent, every country, every space as a troublemaker of the planet? Yet they write themselves into history as the heroes. They write themselves into history and tell you, you better be glad I came here because I made you civilized, when you came here as a beast and an animal and still execute animalistic traits all over the world. You see people living in peace. Yes, some people have little disputes, right? Light stuff, but they're coexisting. But you come and pit one against the other and give a weaponry to both sides so they can kill each other, and you take the resources. These people who are the parasites of the earth, who don't want you to see peace, and I'm gonna tell you, it's in their nature. And many of us on our jobs, you have that supervisor, you have that coworker, you have that person who despises you when they see that you're happy. You have people that when they really can see that you are happy and content and living balanced, they don't like it. It becomes their job to take your happiness away. On the highest level of this demonic system to the lowest level, they don't like you happy. For those who are amongst you, they'll go up on your Facebook page or your social media, and we're guilty for showing and sharing too much. Yes, we talk too much lots of times. You have to move in stealth mode. It wasn't always like this, but social media has made it easier. Your enemy is watching your stuff online. I have a lot of enemies who watch my stuff online, and they hate it. They hate it. And they'll find ways. Oh, look at their house. Oh, look at their vehicle. Oh, look at their... We're not talking about the fake projected happiness that sad people, and I don't mean sad like you're crying like somebody died. I mean, they're just sorry. They're just sad. And they want to project happiness as though it's going to take away the trauma and the pain and the suffering that those types have in their life. They project this. It's like the people who go to the shopping mall and they're broke, but they have a Mercedes-Benz keychain, but they have an old beat up Chevy truck outside, and they dressed up to the nines with their Sunday best, can't even afford to go to the food court and get something to eat, but they're exuding, they're projecting. And we live in a world of projection. So when you have true happiness and centeredness, these folks don't like it. Like even some people, they didn't like me doing this. I had a fool tell me when I first got here, you know, you have to stop doing what you're doing and live your best life. But I don't want to be an alcoholic like you, smoking up weed, messing up my brain. My best life and not do what I do. I've been doing this for so long. I love doing what I do, right? But people watch what you do and how you're content and having an outlet, whatever that may be. Mrs. Scurv loves gardening and farming and stuff like that. Do you. Be happy within what? But some people have no other business of their own except to make your business their business and compare. So we have people on the ground. I don't mean on the ground laying down, but amongst us. all the way up to the elites who are executing this demonic spirit of taking away our happiness. What people want to control us, have us with a chip, have us with these C-19-like viruses out here, controlling us, having us take these bioweapons in the name of protecting us against something imaginary. But it won't hit you for another 5 or 10 years after, and you wonder why your health is declining. I hope not. I hope not for the people who didn't know. But you have to be careful, because anything that these people try to implement, it's demonically motivated. You see what I mean? It's nothing good in the end. They will try to make it seem like something good. You have to keep your mental filters up. You have to keep your discerning spirit on high. Yeah. Because this is not an easy place. And many of you can feel it. And this is why they offer you social media, to distract you with the endless scrolling, to keep your mind away from what's really happening in the world, slowly but surely. Taking control of the resources, taking control of the food supply, weaponizing medical treatment, knocking us off one by one so the population can go down so they can have the earth to play on themselves. And not only that, but on a spiritual level, what's waiting for us on the other side of transition? The indulgences that we get into here, it's making us tasty little morsels of spiritual snacks for these demons who want us vibrating at our lowest, right? You don't taste good when you live a righteous, clean life, right? These things are there to harvest you. Deals have been made. I'm convinced. This is why there's so much decadence pushed on social media directly into our brains. So we act holy in the daytime, but we go home and we have these things on our mind. The low vibrational stuff, no matter what it may be, right? And it's controlling us. And as long as we're controlled, we're not a threat to the system. If you're a threat to the system, to enlighten people about what's going on and opening up the eyes to the people about what's going on, you're a problem and you must be removed. So you can't take their social media and turn it against them and use it for a righteous cause. There are good things on social media, don't get me wrong. You can learn so much. There's a lot of good stuff. But what do we gravitate to? It's almost like a foreigner who comes to America, right? And they don't learn the English, but I tell you one thing, they learn those curses first. They learn how to call you the N-word first. They learn all the decadent stuff first. That's how it goes. But yeah, it's stay on course, y'all. Do what you can do to stay, don't get caught up in anything illegal, because that's what they want to get you locked up, caught up in that system, right? And there's a lot of money in there, but yet there's not a lot of money out there in the world for you to make as much. And for those who do, more power to you. Do the right thing, because the power and buying power of the dollar can be manipulated down into nothing. You see what I mean? And that's the truth. That's the fact. So the more you can pull yourself out of the system, the better off you are. And they're going to have to be sacrifices that you make. The conveniences you're going to have to walk away from and live a life where you control and make your own conveniences. See what it is that really means something to you. This fake status online and this worrying about how many people are following you and all this stuff. Like I said, I had a whole lot before they took the channel, but it never stopped me from doing what I do, because I love what I do. So if you have a love for something, it doesn't stop you. It doesn't break your spirit. And that's what they want with most people, to have their spirits broken, to have your light snuffed, to have your enthusiasm taken away. These demons don't like you to have a plan. You work on your plan and you wake up every morning with enthusiasm. And sometimes you want to stay in the bed. Sometimes you're a little tired. I understand that. But overall, you have a spiritual light inside of you that is so powerful, they can't stand it, because they know that you're going to transform everything around you and you don't need them. So it's their job to crush it. Crush you physically, crush you mentally, crush you spiritually, crush you emotionally, and you have people around you that when they see you so enthused, in a conservative way, you're not running around telling your business, but they can see you move with enthusiasm. And it becomes their job as a lower demon to find out and befriend you and act as though they're in your corner. And let's do lunch sometime. Let's go here. All they want to do is find out your business and the source of your happiness. And they'll try to destroy it. Oh yeah, I've had that tried on me. I've had all types of rituals and occultic things, and they must be saying, hell, this stuff that I'm doing don't work because Lance is still going strong. Oh, and it's coming even stronger. I love it. Just understand that when you stand for righteousness, and this is what my mother always taught me. I didn't get like this just out of nowhere. My mother and my father, but my mother was the one who was a little more pushing, the spiritual stuff and the awareness that way, right? It's usually that way. But my father was no dummy that way. But when you stand for righteousness and you keep on that path and don't let people, which it's usually going to be people coming at you that have this spirit with a smile on their face. See, they're the biggest ones smiling. And those are the biggest occultic demons that will try to infiltrate your life. And once you get a sense of what they are, you ban them, banish them, have nothing to do with these people. Don't care about hurting people's feelings. You don't want your life force taken away. You don't want these destiny thieves to come around you and hook their little caboose onto you, and you're pulling them, and you realize, well, my energy's low. Why? It's because of the people around you. Why is my energy so high? Because I live in a happy solitude, and what most people say when it comes down to it, isolation. Now, I'm not saying isolate to the point where you can't breathe. I go out. There are people I talk to. There are people I've known for decades who we're like family. So I'm having a ball, but I'm not letting anybody infiltrate my inner camp. If anything, they will be banished some. I've had to cut ties with a lot of people. And in my internet journey, I'm quite sure you can see how many people are not here anymore, right? Because I discovered a lot of things. We'll leave it at that. But it wasn't good for me, and it didn't have good intentions for me. It could be anybody. And it's not about being paranoid. It's about protecting your life force. Your life force, your melanated life force is so powerful that even people can try to extract it from thousands of miles away. And that's what these demons are into. You understand? So be careful and watch your perimeter. But within your sanctuary, you can be free. Home and my sanctuary, which my physical sanctuary is my home. I'm in high hog heaven. I can do what I want. I can think what I want. I can play the music therapy that I want. I can eat what I want. I can lay out in the sun. I can go outside and walk around a lot, just do what I want to do. This house is multi-chambered with different fields, different elevations, different relations to the sunlight, day or night. I'm so isolated sometimes. I walk around with these Crocs on and forget to put clothes on. Nobody can see me. You know what I mean? I'm free. I'm free. I've constructed it that way. And when I get out behind these walls, from behind these walls, my guard is up. And my ability and discernment is getting higher. Not that I can't be fooled, but it's getting higher and higher and higher and higher. And I feel protected for now. But the enemy always has ways of trying to infiltrate you. But again, like I said, be very careful who you allow in your life. Understand these systems are not there to bring us joy. If you have light, if you have a godly, righteous light, they're coming for you. And it may not be personal. They don't like the light that's in you. You understand? And then it will become personal. From the highest level down to the people who are around you, sitting in the break room eating lunch, on your job, or people around you who live within close proximity, who observe you and see that you're on a certain trajectory and can't figure out, how do you have enthusiasm consistently day after day after day. Right? What are you made of? Well, the more you disconnect from the system is the more you find that you will have that inner joy and righteous happiness, which doesn't have to rush, doesn't have anything to prove, doesn't have to perform. I'm not performing for nobody. For those who know me all these years doing this, I'm myself. I love being who I am. I love myself. It's not a narcissistic thing. And the narcissists that get around me, they can't stand it. He truly loves himself, because narcissists don't really like themselves, you know. They have to snuff other people's energy so they feel that they can shine. That's how it works. But you can't have what I am. And you have to think this to yourself, that you are unique and there's nobody in the world made like you. So be yourself and shine, regardless as to the demons that are out there, because ultimately they're afraid of your light. That's why they want to disconnect it from you so they can devour you. Anyway, I rambled a little bit. Maybe I made sense to people, maybe I didn't. Person's supposed to be here, they're late, but I got a few minutes extra to talk. Anyway, much love to you all. LanceScurv out. On to the next one later on. And as always, I wish you nothing but peace, tranquility, centeredness, and purpose. Thank you. Take care.